We begin today's show with an update on the subs gained this month. Now, Bengals Breakdown has surpassed the Ravens. We were losing the last time we checked in. We're not going to catch the Steelers. That makes me sad. And the Browns report is also pretty far ahead of us. But let's see if we can make a miracle comeback here. I think we have the ability to. And you get free Bengals videos when you guys subscribe. Hit that sub button right now. We begin today's show with the latest on Dalvin Cook, as Tom Pelissero gave an update that didn't include Cincinnati specifically, but there is room for interpretation if you really want to spin it that way. He says Dalvin Cook has multiple offers so far, and 6 teams, half a dozen was his terminology, have shown interest so far. So we'll break down 4 of the teams that Pelissero mentioned specifically, but that would open the door for the Bengals being maybe one of those other 2 teams, although I have my doubts despite what the Vegas odds might say. So Pelissero mentioned 4 teams and also specifically ruled out the Buffalo Bills, saying they don't make sense for them. He mentioned the Denver Broncos, the New York Jets, the New England Patriots, and the Miami Dolphins. Now I will make note that the Dolphins allegedly have an offer out to Dalvin Cook, but it is not the biggest offer so far. Unclear who that offer is, if it exists, and what the money actually looks like. But Dalvin has been linked to Miami constantly since even before he was released by the Minnesota Vikings. They are the heavy betting favorite right now. Minus 300. The Jets at plus 250. The allegedly not involved Bills at plus 500. Then your Cincinnati Bengals are plus 900. And I am a little bit surprised by that. And the reasoning is money does matter here. Look at the highest paid backs in the NFL. This changes every offseason, not just because other guys get paid, but because dudes get cut constantly. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott, Dalvin Cook were top 5. Now they're off the list. Aaron Jones was top 5. Took a pay cut to stick around. Took a slightly less higher contract. James Conner at $7 million is 10th behind 3 franchise tag players. That's kind of crazy when you think about it. And if I were Dalvin Cook, I would say I am better than James Conner. I want at least $7 million per year. Now, does he get that or not? I'm not so sure. But let's say you were the Bengals and you decide, all right, we could cut Joe Mixon, which I don't think they're going to do, but we could cut Joe Mixon and then sign Dalvin Cook at $7 million and save 3-ish or so on the salary cap this year. Is that worthwhile for you? Would you sign Dalvin Cook for $7 million? Y for yes, N for no. If the ad plays here on YouTube, that's fine. Take advantage of it. Head down there to the pinned comment and vote Y or N. It's pretty clear to me that Dalvin Cook wants a bag. And you know what? I don't blame him. That is how life works as a running back. Your shelf lives are very short. You can fall off quickly. You don't normally get a third big contract. You're lucky if you get 2 in this day and age. But I'm not giving the team that gives it to him. And there's a couple of reasons for that, which really comes down to what the Bengals have, what they're paying at this stage, and where Dalvin Cook is at over the course of his NFL career right now. Dalvin Cook is not the same player he once was. Not saying he's bad, but I've seen people saying, oh, Dalvin Cook's elite. No, he's not. He's not a top 5 back in the NFL. He's not. I think he's in a similar tier as Joe Mixon, frankly. The regression has been there for Dalvin Cook. 5.1 yards per carry, 4.7, 4.4. At his age, backs don't always get better. Now, maybe the shoulder surgery fixes it. I'm not really sure I buy that. I think that was more of a ploy to lock in some guaranteed money, which was smart by Dalvin Cook, by the way. I'm unconvinced he is a significant upgrade over Joe Mixon. And because of that, if I were the Bengals, my approach would just be, hey, you know what, Joe? You could always try to sign Dalvin Cook. How about you take a bit of a pay cut? We've stood by you with all the off-the-field stuff going on right now. How about you save us $3-4 million this year? We'll add some incentives to your deal, give you a chance to maximize it. If I were the Bengals, I would use Cook as leverage against Mixon and trying to get a little bit less money paid to him, as opposed to, just cutting Mixon and paying Cook. I don't think that's going to be much of an upgrade when it's all said and done. The 4th of July is almost here. Hope you guys have some fun plans for the holiday. You can rep the Bengals and rep America in the same shirt. This Bengals USA themed t-shirt is available. Chatsports.com/BengalsUSA. Links in the comments section and the description of today's show. Go rep the Bengals and America with one t-shirt. Chatsports.com/BengalsUSA. Tee Higgins, next up in our conversation. So PFF picked one move. There was a trade, a signing, an extension, whatever, that each team should make before training camp. And they picked a Tee Higgins contract extension for Cincinnati, which I was a bit surprised by. The Higgins extension likely has to wait for Joe Burrow. I would say that Burrow's a bigger priority. Get that one done first, figure out what you really have available. But I'm certainly not mad at the idea of extending Higgins. Here's what PFF wrote. With Tyler Boyd in a contract year and Joe Mixon's deal up in 2024, Cincinnati can finally keep its three-headed offensive monster, which refers to Chase, Higgins, and Burrow, if the front office stays proactive and gets Higgins done early, enabling them to spread the cash and cap hits out over the next several years. They also wrote that extending DJ Reader would make some sense here as well, but wouldn't be a shock if the Bengals shied away from Reader after he missed a lot of the first and third seasons of the team, and the position market experienced an explosion. So that's I do want to mention the note on DJ Reader. Could have mentioned a note on Logan Wilson. They did not there instead. I was a bit surprised they didn't pick Joe Burrow, but hey, if you can get the Joe Burrow contract done on July 10th and then Higgins' deal gets done on July 20th, awesome. That sounds great to me. Extending Higgins does make sense for the Bengals because he's awesome. In general, I would like to pay and find a way to keep awesome football players on my team. We'll go more in depth on why I think that and why he works in Cincinnati, but will the Bengals extend Higgins before the season? So we'll give some more time than just before training camp. 1 for yes, they will. 2 for no, they will not. Go get your votes in for me in the comments. Over the course of his 3 years in the NFL, Higgins has basically been a 1,000-yard receiver. Little bit less in 2020, but more in 2022 and 2021 that it all balanced out. Plus, he missed a couple games in 2021 and still went for 1,000-plus yards. He's been that vertical possession, outside receiver, sideline machine, toe drag swag for days that I like Higgins' play a lot of. I'm a big fan of what he offers, and I know that if he hit the open market, whether it's probably 2 years from now, because you got this year, they probably tag him next year if they had to, he would command a significant amount of money. The question is, just how much does Higgins end up getting? CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson will all take top 5 spots on that list, maybe knocking out A.J. Brown. I think $20 per year, $20 million per year, excuse me, that's a very large difference. $20 million per year minimum is the extension cost of Tee Higgins. I mean, that's what the franchise tag would project it to be at there. I'd say 23 to 25 maybe is a doable but still somewhat team-friendly type of contract there, and I'd pay that. Knowing I'm going to pay Chase $30 million, I am prepared to pay Joe Burrow. The per-year numbers, you can stagger it and kind of backload it. You can easily be paying $100 million on the per-year salaries to Chase, Higgins, and Burrow. Now, it won't hit the cap that way because you can be smart and structure it to avoid that, but I did that in a heartbeat. I think that's your core on offense. In the end, Tee Higgins, because I can't sign Jamar Chase right now, is my number 2 priority behind Joe Burrow. So, yeah, get that deal done, and we'll all be hyped about it.